What is your opinion about the dispute between National Association of ICP and Net City project?
Well, I mean, I think that from our perspective, obviously we're a member of the National Association of ISPs, but you know, I think that the Net City issue, as I mentioned, is really because it's not so much to do with Net City, it's to do with the fact that companies are being forced to move to this higher cost model based on legislation. And obviously they don't want to do that, and obviously Net City can be a focus of this then, because they're actually the company to pay the money to. But from our perspective, we believe that the regulation of the fibre bill is very important, because you can't continue to just lay fibre everywhere without regulation. But how it was done, I think probably the government could have been more consultative than how it was done with the telecommunications companies, and maybe looked at the longer term implications in terms of investment. So while we don't agree with the full details of the dispute as it's written by the Association of ISPs, we do understand where it's coming from. So I would say that we understand it, but we don't support it, because we actually have a good relationship with Net City, and it's important for our business that that continues. But I think that the underpinning reason for the dispute we agree with, because we do believe that it's basically additional cost with no additional revenues for companies.
Do you know another project like this in other country around Romania?
Romania is unique in that in other countries you need to apply for planning permission to build fibre, and all fibre was built underground. They weren't allowed to put it overground. So I think it's a unique situation for Romania. You know, this is what, for example, in every other market I've worked in, fibre is a premium product, and customers actually pay a little bit extra to get fibre. In Romania, fibre is not a premium product. It's actually the market. It's the market standard. But in most countries, it's not. Fibre is seen as a premium. So,
how would you characterize the competition in this market during this crisis?
Somewhere between tough and crazy. I think that the issue with the Romanian market is that, and maybe I see it differently because I only came to the market last year, but the Romanian market has the lowest internet pricing in the world. This was possible because the infrastructure costs, the entry barriers were very low, because people could lay fibre overground, because the major cost of laying fibre is deducting, is digging. So basically Romania had a low cost, low revenue model. But the problem now is with Net City, Duct City and other ducting programs in the major cities, is that model is moving from low cost, low revenue to high cost, low revenue. And this means that companies' profitability is being squeezed. Some companies that were profitable are now going into negative margins. And ironically, the low revenues and the low output that causes this is actually being increased and heightened, because as they become more desperate for revenues, they actually lower the prices even more. So I think that the competition in Romania is fierce, and you know, people drive competition based on price, and I think that this price erosion, which on average is about 20% a year, so if you've got 10 million euros of business from your customers, the next year that would be worth 8 million, regardless if you don't do anything. That's keeping the same customers with the same bandwidth, keeping exactly the same thing. It would be worth.
So what would be the solution for them to survive?
Well, I think that
without lowering the prices,
you need to focus on. I think that already we have really low prices in Romania, and I think that nobody can complain about telecommunications being overpriced here. So I think that we need to now look at adding value to customers, so that customers see a value proposition from a telecommunications operator other than just the price. So, for example, if somebody's paying 100 euros a month, we need to move to a situation where they want to still pay 100 euros, but they will actually then accept, for example, this improved customer service level, or for example, additional bandwidth or something like that, rather than keep coming back and looking for, when I want it for 80 euros and the next year I want it for 60 euros. Because ultimately, this may seem like a good deal in the short term, but long term this will create serious problems for the Romanian economy, because who's going to invest into the next generation of networks? If companies don't make money, they can't reinvest. So at the moment, we don't have a problem because we have a lot of fibre in the ground, we have a very nice network infrastructure in Romania. But the problem will come in 10 or 15 years' time. If no telecommunications company is making money here, who will reinvest? And telecommunications is a keystone industry. And by that I mean it's an industry that affects the entire economy. Like the road infrastructure, like the gas, like the electricity, telecommunications is extremely important. For example, in my own country of Ireland, the Celtic Tiger, one of the things it was built on was telecommunications infrastructure. That's why Microsoft have their European headquarters there, why Apple have their European headquarters in Ireland. It's not the only reason, I mean, they're speaking English, etc., but telecommunications was a big part of it. If you don't have a vibrant telecommunications industry with fully digitalised network access, being able to cope with the demands of increasing bandwidth and security as e-commerce grows, then nobody's going to invest into the country. So at the moment, Romania is fine and has a good telecommunications infrastructure. The problem I see is in 10 or 15 years' time, where's the next generation of network coming from? So I think telecommunications companies need to start giving their customers value propositions rather than just trying to win business based on price, because ultimately that is going to have negative implications for the entire Romanian economy.
Are you interested to build an MVNO in Romania?
Currently, we don't have plans for that. I think that we are a fixed operator. We've invested heavily in our fixed network, and I think that there's enough competition in the mobile at the moment. So I think finding a space where you can be competitive MVNO is very difficult. There are very few countries where MVNOs has been a success. The UK is one with Virgin Mobile, but apart from that, MVNOs are very difficult to make a success of.